Okay.
Yes,
So we're going to wait one more minute to see if anyone else comes, and then we'll start class. So how are you doing?
The last class, we talked about the careers.
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 Oh, so you went to a class about careers.
Can you repeat? I don't understand the question.
Oh, I was just asking how you are, how you're doing.
Hi, fine, thank you. And you?
Good, I'm doing well. We can get started. So this class is about comparatives and superlatives. So we're going to talk about world records and extremes, right? So the biggest country, the longest river. We're going to learn how to form comparatives and superlatives. So I'm going to wait one more minute to see if someone else comes, and then I'll. Yeah, so 1 second. 1 second while we do this.
Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, there should be one more person. Okay, I'll give the description now. So, welcome to another Linguistiko class. My name is Michelle, and I'll be the teacher today. So this class focuses on particular grammar, forming comparatives and superlatives. So we'll explore this topic within the context of the world's greatest. So the world's longest river, the world's biggest country, the oldest volcano. Comparatives and superlatives are really helpful when making comparisons in everyday life. So if you're talking about the youngest or the oldest member of your family, if you need to compare and contrast advantages or disadvantages in a business meeting, or if you're just in a discussion with friends about which food to try, which city to visit, it's always helpful to know how to form comparatives and superlatives. So the first thing, so are you familiar with comparatives and superlatives, Fanny? Do you know how to say something is more expensive, or something is bigger, or something is smaller? Are you familiar with forming them? Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, it's familiar. It is
Great.
familiar.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so we're just going to go over really quickly how to form them. So all the little grammar rules about how to make comparatives and superlatives. So here we go. I'm going to put this up on the screen. So if we're going to make a comparative, and if it's a one-syllable word, so small words, right, like old, tall, small, all you have to do is add ER to the end if you're comparing, or EST if it's a superlative, right? So for example, my sister is older than me, right? Or I could say she is the oldest of all of my siblings, right? Pretty easy. And the same thing with words like small, right? So I could say this tree is smaller than the other tree, or I could say this is the smallest tree. So that's rule number one. So if the adjective is one syllable, right? So short words. The next kind is if they're one syllable words but are spelled this certain way, right? So consonant, vowel, consonant. It's the same thing. You just add ER or EST, but you have to double the last letter. So examples of this are words like hot, right? Big. So the same thing, you just add ER, but you also have to double the T's, right? So HOT becomes HOTTER, right? Hotter. Or if we're talking about the superlatives, right? Hottest, right? And same thing with big, right? BIG becomes bigger with two G's, or biggest with two G's. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand.
Good. Okay. And then, so that's the second rule. So these are both for adjectives that are just one syllable, right? Short words like hot, big, small, tall. Good. So when we get into two-syllable words that end with Y, right? Like friendly, happy, we take away the Y and we add an I, right? So I-E-R if we're comparing, I-E-S-T if we're talking about superlatives, right? So I say Mary is friendlier than Sam, or I could say Lucy is the friendliest person I know. Okay. Any questions on that?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay. And then the
don't have
last
any.
rule. Sorry?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, good. Okay. And then the last rule we've got here is for bigger words, right? So if an adjective is 2 syllables or 3 syllables, right, and that doesn't end in Y, we usually just add more before the word to compare or most. So long words like expensive becomes more expensive or most expensive. Beautiful, right, becomes more beautiful or the most beautiful. So those are the 4 rules that you can always follow to know how to form superlatives and comparatives. Do you have any questions about how to form them?
No.
No? Okay, great. So those are all the rules that we'll go back to when we're practicing. So now this whole class is going to be lots of practice of comparing. Okay, so here. So let's look at this one. So here are some examples. Let's see if you're familiar with these. So, right, so we've got tall, taller, tallest, big, bigger, biggest, short, shorter, shortest, hard, harder, hardest, right? And so these all more or less follow the rules, right? And we've got ones that have, for example, right, ones that have consonant, vowel, consonant. You double the, right, B-I-G-G-E-R, good. And ones that end in Y's, right, become an I. Easier, easiest. So,
one question. For example, short. In this case, we don't have to put other T?
No, exactly. So this is the difference between, so the only time that we have to double the last letter is if it's consonant, vowel,
yes.
consonant, right? So if it's short, you've got R and T at the end, right?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand, yeah.
Great, okay. So there's 2 words in here that are different from the rest. Can you find ones that are irregular? Ones that don't follow the pattern? There's 2. You see? So most of them follow the pattern, right? ER, EST. Can you find one that's different? I'll give you a clue. It's in this part.
This right. Bad.
Exactly, good. Bad is really tricky, right? Because it's irregular. So it doesn't follow the pattern that we just talked about. So the only way to remember is to memorize, right? So bad, and then worse and worst.
Worst.
And so there's
good.
one, sorry?
And good, too.
Exactly, good as well. Oh, looks like we've got another student. Hi, Simon. Welcome to class. Can you hear and see the screen okay? Simon? Hi, Simon. Can you hear and see me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you and see you. Okay. How
Great,
you doing?
Okay. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great as well.
Awesome. Okay, so this class, we're talking about comparatives and superlatives. So how to compare things, how to say something is the best, the worst, the longest, the shortest. So we were just looking at some examples with Fanny. So here are some examples that we were looking at. And we just went over some of the rules how to form them, right? So most short words, we can easily add ER for a comparative or EST for the superlative, right? So we use ER if we're comparing two things. If I say, I am weaker than my brother, or if I'm saying he's the strongest of all, I would say I am the weakest of everyone, right? So we've got comparatives and superlatives. Okay. Are you familiar with these, Simon?
Certainly, I am familiarized with this because I have studied English long time ago.
Okay, great. Okay, good. So it's not new. So we were just talking, Fanny and I, about the ones that are irregular, right? So could you tell me which ones are irregular in this section? There's two. Fanny already picked them out, so let's see if you can pick them out. There's two that don't follow the pattern. Do you know which ones? Simon?
Do I have to take the floor?
Yeah, I was saying, so Simon, I was asking you which two of these
Okay.
words are irregular and don't follow the pattern.
Worst and best.
Exactly, good, right? Bad and good are kind of tricky when you talk about superlatives and comparatives because they don't follow the normal grammar rules, right? Bad becomes worse or worst, and good becomes better or best. Good, okay. Any questions? Fanny, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, great. What about you, Simon? Any questions?
Everything is okay.
Everything's okay, great. Okay, so now we're going to do a fun quiz about the extremes of the world. So we're going to see some pictures and we're going to see some multiple choice answers. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to ask each one of you to read it out loud, and there's going to be a question with a blank. And you're going to have to make the superlative form of the adjective to fill in the blank. So for example, it'll say, what is the, and then it'll say big in parentheses, country in the world. So then you would have to say, what is the biggest country in the world? And then, for example, there's going to be A, B, C, D options, you know, like A, Australia, B, Brazil, C, the US, and you're going to pick which one is right. Does that make sense? I'll show you soon.
Yes.
Yes?
It
Okay.
makes sense.
Great. So here we go. Let's start. 1 second. Let me go to the... Okay. Here we go. So we're going to talk about... Oops. Okay. So, Fanny, could you read and fill in the blanks for this one?
Yes. Which is the longer river in the world?
So longer is going to be the comparative, right? So what's the superlative?
Longest
Good job.
river
Longest.
in the world.
Perfect. So do you know? Can you read the options?
I believe that the Amazon River.
Yes, okay, yeah. Can you read the options? So like A, the Amazon River,
Okay.
B, the Nile River.
A, the Amazon River. B, the Nile River. C, the Paraná River. D, the Yangtze River.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's in China. It's hard to say. Good. So which one do you think is the right answer?
For me, the right answer is E, the Amazon River.
A, the Amazon River. Okay. Good. Simon, what do you think? What do you think the right answer is? A, B, C, or D?
I agree with her. I think it's A.
A, the Amazon. Okay, let's find out. Okay. So it's actually B, the Nile River. I think it's a matter of like a few
my
meters.
goodness.
It's only a few meters longer, but the Nile River is actually longer than the Amazon. And this is a picture of the Nile right here. So, but awesome job, Fanny, because you got the superlative perfect, right? Longest. So good job on that. Good. Any questions?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, Simon, your turn. You read about deserts?
Okay. Which is the driest desert in the world.
Good job, Dry. How would you spell driest? Do you know?
Yeah.
Can you spell it?
DRYE no IST.
Yes. So with words that end in Y, you take out the Y, right? So it's going to be DRIEST, right? Like that. Driest.
Yes.
Perfect. Good. Okay. So can you read out the options?
A, the Mojave Desert.
Mojave Desert.
B, the Sahara Desert. C, the Gobi Desert. D, the Atacama Desert.
Good. So which one do you think is the driest desert in the world? A, B, C, or D?
It's a hard one.
You have a guess?
Okay, I'm gonna do it at random.
Which one?
B.
A, B?
B.
The Sahara Desert. Okay, good. Fanny, what do you think? What do you think the answer is? A, B, C, or D? Fanny?
I'm sorry. I agree with Simon. B is the answer, the Sahara Desert.
The Sahara Desert? Okay. So, it's actually the Atacama Desert in Chile. In northern Chile, the Atacama Desert is the driest desert in the world.
I have to be.
No, it's a hard one.
Yeah, no worries. They're hard. They're hard. Good, okay. Okay, now it's Fanny's turn. So let's talk about this.
Okay.
City.
Which is the most expensive
Perfect.
city to live in?
Good formation of superlative. Most expensive. Good job.
A, London. B, Tokyo. C, Buenos Aires. D, New York City.
Good. So what do you think? What's the most expensive city to live in?
I believe that the answer is A, London.
A, London. Good.
A.
Good guess. What about you, Simon? What do you think? What's the most expensive city to live in?
I agree with her.
London. Good. Okay. So good. You guys were right. London.
Oh.
Good. London is the most expensive city to live in. Good. And good job, Fanny, forming the superlative. Most expensive. Good job. Okay. So next one, it'll be Simon. So your turn, Simon. Let's talk about volcanoes.
What is the biggest volcano? What is the biggest volcano in the world?
Good. So how would I spell that? How would I spell biggest?
BIGGEST.
Perfect. Good. Good job. So I was just asking because you missed the part that we talked about the rules, but you got it right, right? So we're going to have to double the G when we make the superlative. Good job. BIGGEST.
Volcano?
Good. So let's read.
Can you pronunciate volcano?
Sorry?
Can you pronunciate volcano?
Volcano?
Yes. I just wanted to know if I was pronouncing it well.
Yeah, you're saying it perfectly. Volcano.
A, Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens.
Yes. B, Kilimanjaro. C, Sierra Negra. D, Mauna Loa.
Yeah, good. Mauna Loa. Any idea?
I don't have idea.
I haven't idea.
No? Okay.
Maybe Sierra Negra.
Sierra Negra. Okay. And what about you, Simon? Do you have a guess?
No, I have an idea.
You don't have to be right. You can just guess. It doesn't have to be right. It doesn't have to be correct. Okay, so good job on spelling, and it's actually Mauna Loa in Hawaii.
Ah, Hawaii.
It's in Hawaii, and this is a picture of it. This is the biggest volcano in the world.
Ah, is it active?
Uh-huh, I think it is. Look, it looks active to me, right? How scary. Looks hot.
Yes.
Good, okay. Any questions, you guys, so far?
No, I don't have
No,
any.
so far I don't have any idea.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so then Fanny, it's your turn. Let's do this one. Talk about building. Fanny?
Uh-huh. What is the tallest building in the world?
Good job. Tallest. Perfect.
Tallest. A. Shanghai Tower. B. Eiffel Tower. C. Empire State Building. D. Burj Khalifa, Dubai.
Yeah, so I put Dubai because it's a building in Dubai, India. Good.
Okay.
So, any idea?
I'm not sure. Maybe Shanghai Tower.
Shanghai Tower. Good, okay. Simon, what about you? Do you have any idea what the
The last
tallest
one.
building in the world is? This one? Burj Khalifa in Dubai?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's see.
Maybe.
Good.
Yes.
You're right, Simon. I think it was built recently, so it's kind of a new building. And this is a picture of it. Look how tall it is. It's the
Yeah,
tallest
it's the
building in the
one.
world.
You know, in Dubai, people build the tallest one. The tallest one.
Yeah, Simon, how did you know that? Have you been to Dubai?
I would like.
You would like to? Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
know,
like
it's very
Dubai.
expensive to travel there.
Good. Sorry, what were you saying, Fanny?
Ah, I don't like Dubai.
Oh, you've been to
For
Dubai?
me, no. For me, it's not interesting.
Oh,
Isn't interesting.
it's not interesting to you.
It's
Good,
not
yeah.
interesting.
Okay, good. But it's got the tallest building in the world. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
know.
good job. So good job, Fanny. So now Simon, your turn. Let's talk about animals.
What is the fattest animal in the world?
The fastest, right? Good. Fastest animal in the
The
world.
fastest. Oh my goodness. I was confusing because I thought it was fat.
Oh no. Not the fattest animal, the fastest animal.
Yeah, fastest. Yes.
Good.
So A, gazelle, B, cheetah,
Hmm.
C, lion, and D, coyote.
Good. So
Coyote.
Simon, good. So Simon, what do you think? What's the fastest animal in the world?
Let us A.
A. Gazelle?
Yeah, gazelle.
Good. Okay, Fanny, what about you? Fanny, what do you think the fastest animal in the world is?
For me, is B. Cheetah.
B. Cheetah. Okay, good.
Cheetah.
Let's see. It's the fastest animal in the world. Ah, so you were right, Fanny. Good. It's the cheetah.
Yes.
The
Cheetah.
cheetah is the fastest
What's
animal
that?
in the world.
What's cheetah?
Guepardo.
Oh, I didn't know.
Sorry,
Yes.
Simon?
No, she answered my question.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Yes.
did you not know what gazelle was? Oh, we've got a new student.
Yes, they are fast, but the faster is cheetah. Cheetah.
Right. Gazelles are very fast, but no,
Yes,
cheetahs are the fastest. Exactly.
fastest.
Gazelles are faster than most, but cheetahs are the fastest. Okay, I think we have a new student. Rita, can you hear and see me? Hello? Nope. And they left. Okay. Well, never mind. Okay. So do you guys have any questions about the things we just looked at? The tallest building, the most expensive city? Any questions?
No,
What about you, Simon? Nope. Okay.
not
So
answer.
I don't think so. Okay, so now we're going to do a little chart. So we're going to do the difference between comparatives and superlatives. So let's work on it together. This is what we're going to do. So 1 second, let me find this.
Sorry, I was gone.
It's
What are we-
okay.
Oh,
No worries. Do you have any questions, Simon? No? Okay. So let's look at this. We're going to do an interactive chart. And we're going to try to compare. Oh, we've got a new student, right? Rita, can you hear and see me? Okay. Rita, am I saying your name right? Hi. Can you hear and see okay? Hello? Okay. How do you say your name? Rita?
Michelle,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be out for a second because I got something to do, but I'll be back soon.
Simon? Who's saying
I'll
this?
be back soon.
Okay. Okay, no worries. Okay, so I was just trying to say hi to the new student, right? Rita? Am I saying your name right?
Well,
Hi. How are you? Can you hear and see okay?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Awesome. So welcome to class, where we just went through a quiz about superlatives in the world. So let me show you really quickly what we went through. We'll review this for Fanny too, since we just did it. We just did some facts about the world. So let's see, we did the longest river in the world. We decided was the Nile River. And we made the superlative from long. And then we talked about the driest desert in the world. Do you know, Rita, what the driest desert in the world is?
No idea.
Nope.
No idea.
So it's the Atacama Desert in Chile.
In Chile?
And then we talked about the most expensive city to live in. Do you know what the most expensive city to live in is?
New York City, I think.
New York City? So it's actually London. London is the most expensive city to live in. Yeah, it's surprising.
Oh,
Okay. And then we talked about the biggest volcano. This one was hard. We didn't know which one this was. But Mauna Loa in Hawaii. It's one of the biggest volcanoes in the world.
Right.
And then we talked about the tallest building. Do you have any idea what the tallest building is?
No, not really.
Nope. No idea? Okay. It's this one in Dubai. This is the tallest building in the world. It's called the Burj Khalifa.
The tallest building in the world. Burj
Uh-huh.
Khalifa, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I heard of it.
Cool. Awesome.
That's
Yeah. So good. Yep. This is the picture of it. It's the biggest in the world. Okay. And then the last one, which we just finished up doing, is the fastest animal in the world. Do you know what the fastest animal in the world is?
Fastest animal. Well, I'm not sure, but is it the tiger? No?
Okay. So we've got the options here, right? We've got gazelle, cheetah, lion, or coyote. Any idea?
Cheetah.
The cheetah.
Cheetah.
Good. Good job. Exactly. Good. So that's just to keep you up to date. So that's what we just finished doing together as a class. So now we're going to work on a table between the difference of comparing and superlatives. So the difference between like faster and fastest, right? Because you have two things, you can say one thing is bigger than the other, or one thing is the biggest. So now we're going to look at that. Any questions so far to catch up for class? Nope? Okay. So let's look at this chart again. Here we go. Okay. So Fanny, do you know what goes here? What's the comparative for tall?
Taller.
Taller, exactly, good. Taller. Perfect. And then what about the superlative?
Tallest.
Tallest, perfect. Okay. And Rita, how am I saying your name right? Is it Rita? Rita?
Yeah, yeah,
Rita?
that's my name.
Rita? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the comparative for fast? What goes here?
Faster.
Faster. Perfect. And then what about the superlative?
The fastest.
Fastest. Good job. Okay. So Fanny, now it's Fanny's turn. So if the comparative is lighter, what's the adjective?
Light.
Light, exactly. And then what's the superlative?
Lightest.
Lightest. Good. Okay. And now your turn, Rita. What's the adjective? If the superlative is hugest, what's the adjective?
Huge.
Huge, right? Really big. Good.
Huge.
And then what's the comparative?
Really big.
Huge. So the comparative for huge.
No idea.
So huge and hugest. What goes in the middle? You don't know?
No, I don't know.
No? Okay, no worries. What about you, Fanny? Do you have an idea?
I hear.
Which one? Sorry?
Here.
Yeah, huger, exactly. Just with an R.
Huger.
Huger. Good.
Oh, okay.
Good. Oh, good job. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Awesome. Okay. So Fanny, then what's the comparative for strange? Also, sorry, really, do you guys know what huge means? Do you have any questions about what it means?
Huge is something bigger, right?
Right, big. It just
something
means
so big, something.
It's
something,
huge. Exactly.
Like elephant.
Like very, very big. Good. Okay, good.
Exactly.
Huge.
So what about Fanny? Do you know what the word strange means?
Strange.
Strange.
Like.
How would you explain? Yeah. Okay.
That I don't know.
No. What about you, Rita? Do you know what strange means? How would you explain the word strange?
Yeah, strange is something that we don't know about. I mean,
Exactly,
something
good.
that we have no idea about it. So
It's strange, right? So another word that people commonly use is weird, right? If we don't understand something, we say it's weird or it's strange, right? We don't know what it is. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Fanny, how would you make the comparative for strange? Do you know?
Stranger.
Stranger. Good. Stranger. And then what about the superlative?
Strangers.
Strangest. Good. Strangest. Perfect. Okay. Now this one, Rita, do you know what the adjective would be if the superlative is widest? What would the adjective be?
Okay, can you write it, please? Did you say wireless?
Widest right here, right? Widest. So what's the adjective?
The adjective is wild.
Wide, Wide. Do you know what wide means?
Wild is something. Well, it's a place where there is nothing, there is no life, where there is no life in. So this is a place what I call it's wild. I don't know exactly.
So it's not wild. So those are two different words. So there's wild, right, with an L, and then there's wide. So they're different.
Oh,
so
wild.
Wild.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no worries. So wild is what you were saying, right? Wild, right? Like it's not civilized, right? Like the opposite of like a city. It's like in the wild, like a jungle, right?
Exactly.
So wide, W-I-D-E, is different. Do you know what that means?
Wide. No, to be
No?
honest, not.
Good, that's fine. We're here to learn. So what about you, Fanny? Do you know what wide means? Could you explain what wide means?
Wide is, for example, when one river is wide, we have to building one. Ay, puente se me olvidó. For cross across the river.
Exactly. So it's kind of a hard word to explain. But yeah, you're right. So if a river is wide, it means it's hard to cross, right? You need a bridge, right? So wide means like it's wider, right? It's in space. So like ancho in Spanish, right? Like wide. Like it's bigger. So it's the opposite of narrow. So I'll write those here. So we've got wide and we have narrow. So narrow is kind of like skinny or like skinny, right? So if a river is narrow, it's really skinny, and if it's wide, you can't just step over it, right? You need a bridge. So wide river. So let me
Yeah.
do that 1 second. Wide, narrow. So we're gonna look at narrow too in the chart. So let me pull that back up.
Wide.
So back to you, Rita. So then, now that we know what wide means, does that make sense? Do you understand more or less what wide means? Rita? Or no? Or is
Well,
it still confusing?
To me, I do. I do what does it
Yeah,
mean.
you do? Awesome. Okay, good. So then what would be the comparative for wide?
Yeah. It's to me, it's to Fanny, to Michels, or it's to me, this question.
Oh, yeah, it's you. Sorry, it's Rita. Rita.
Okay. So it's wide, wider,
Wider.
and wireless. Yeah.
Exactly. Perfect. Good. So if we're comparing, right, I could say this river is wider than that river. Exactly. Good. Or this is the widest river I've ever seen. Exactly. Okay. So then what I was talking about earlier, so narrow is the opposite of wide. Right? So narrow means the exact opposite, the other thing, right? So then Fanny, what's the adjective? If the comparative is narrower? Uh-huh.
Narrow.
Narrow, good. Uh-huh. And then what about the superlative?
Narrowest.
Narrowest. Uh-huh, exactly. Narrowest.
Narrowest.
Good.
Narrowest.
Perfect. Good job. Okay, now Rita, what would be the adjective if the superlative is tiniest? What would be the adjective?
Teeny.
Tiny. Tiny with a Y.
Oh, it's tiny.
Tiny. Tiny. Do you know what tiny means?
Okay. I thought it's teeny, but it's tiny. Okay.
No worries. What does tiny mean?
Tiny is something.
Like
Something. It's like skinny.
Skinny. Good. Like really
like
small, right? It's really tiny.
Really small.
Really small. Exactly. Really little. Okay.
Hello,
Right.
I wanna say goodbye because I gotta leave earlier because I got
Okay.
something to do. But it was a pleasure to talk with you. I hope that I can join again. So have a great day.
Great. Thank you so much for coming, Simon. I'll see you next time.
It was a pleasure.
Bye. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So back to what we were doing. So yeah. So tiny is something that's really small. Really small. So then, what would be the comparative, Rita, for tiny? What goes there? Tiny. Do you know?
Tinier.
Tinier, good, right? And we spell it with an I, right? So you came a little late, but we talked about when adjectives end in a Y, when we make them compared to superlative, it becomes an I, right? Exactly. Good. Okay. So what about you, Fanny? Do you know what the word little means?
Yes, I know.
What does little mean?
is like a small,
Exactly, right. Little and tiny are similar words. Good. So
so small.
how would you form the comparative for little?
Little,
Littler. Yep, it's kind of hard to say.
little,
Littler. Exactly. Good. And
and
what about the superlative?
littlest,
Littlest. Good.
littlest,
Littlest. Perfect.
littlest.
Good job. Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the words or any of the formations, Fanny?
No, I don't have any.
No. Okay. What about you, Rita? Any questions about anything?
No, no. Well,
No.
I think this is so good, so I'm good.
Oh, good. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Good. Okay. Awesome. So then, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some comparisons of some clothes with some prices. So,
Alright.
so I'm going to ask you, Rita, how would you form the comparative or the superlative for expensive? How would you say something is, like if I have two things, how would you form the comparative of expensive? What would you say?
Well, I can say it's more expensive or so expensive, but I can't say expensiver or expensivest.
Exactly, right?
Right.
So yeah, so since you came a little later, I'm going to pull up really quickly the rules that we went over. So since it's a
Yeah.
long word, the correct form is most expensive.
Yeah.
So if you say, you can say something is more expensive or most expensive, right? So real quick, I'm going to pull this up so we can go over it. Yeah, so I already went over this with Fanny real quickly, but so if it's a one-syllable word, we can add ER, EST, right? If it's a consonant, vowel, consonant, we double the letter, right? So hotter, bigger. So those are just special cases. And then if it ends in a Y, like we talked about before, we make it I, right? Happy becomes happier, happiest. And then what we were just talking about, bigger words like 2 or 3 syllables, like expensive, crowded, beautiful. All we have to do is add more or most if we're talking about comparatives, right? So if I say this is the most expensive house, right? Or I could say this house is more expensive than the other one. Exactly. So do you have any questions about that, Rita? Just because it was kind of quick that we went through it. Any questions or all good?
No, we're fine.
Fine? Okay, good. Awesome. So yeah, so you were right. So the correct way to compare two things with expensive is to say more expensive, right? And this is more expensive than this. Exactly.
Yep.
So how would you form the superlative? So
Of what
the
word?
comparative is more, and the superlative
Yeah.
is?
Most expensive.
Most, exactly. Perfect. Most expensive. Good. Okay, so Fanny, how would you form the comparative and superlative for cheap?
For cheap,
Cheap. So how would you compare? If I say this is then this. Cheap. Cheap is not expensive, right? The opposite of expensive.
less cheap.
Less cheaper. How would you say it's
More
more cheap, right? It's a
cheaper.
short word. Cheaper, exactly. Good. Cheaper. So I say this shirt is cheaper than this one. So then what would be the superlative? That's the comparative. So what's the superlative?
Cheapest.
Cheapest. Perfect. Good job. Cheapest. Okay. So now we're going to look at some prices and some clothes and use the vocabulary we just learned. So here we go. So here's some clothes. So just to go make sure we know the vocabulary for clothes, right? What are these, Rita? Do you know what these are?
Sorry, I can't really see the image, so I'm waiting.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you see it, Fanny?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I can.
So then I'll ask you first. So Fanny, what are these called? The
Uh,
word?
Sweater.
Oh, yeah, sweater or shirts. Good. Sweater or shirts.
Shorts.
Good. And then what about these?
Pants.
Pants. Perfect. Um, Rita, can you see it now? Or still not?
No, no,
No. Oh no.
no, not really. I don't know.
Okay, let me try one more time. I'm gonna reload it and see if you can, because. Okay. How about now? Any luck?
The same. I think there is an issue with my internet connection or something like that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well then, let me see if I can send you the image via chat. Give me 1 second to make it easier. But while I'm doing that, let me ask Fanny. So Fanny, what is the cheapest item of clothing? What's the cheapest price?
The cheaper price is $8.
$8, exactly, good. Okay,
$8.
here, to read it for you, I'm gonna send you the link in the chat. So this is the image we're looking at right now. Can you click on it?
Yeah.
Let me know if it works.
Okay. Yeah, now it works.
Yeah? Great, awesome. Okay, so then, Rita, what is the most expensive clothing item? What's the most expensive?
Okay, so the most expensive outfit is $90.
$9 or $19?
No, it's not. It's $19.
19. Exactly, 19. Perfect. Good job. The most expensive, and they're pants, right? So the most expensive pants are $19. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, Fanny, what are the cheapest pants? How expensive are the cheapest pants?
Pants. The cheapest pants is $9.
$9. Exactly. These ones right here. Right? These are the cheapest. Good. Good. Okay. So then, Rita, what about the cheapest? No, the most expensive shirt. Where's the most expensive shirt?
The most expensive shirts. I'm sorry. Most expensive shirts. Well, actually, I don't see any shirts in this picture, so.
So shirts or like sweaters. Shirts or sweaters. They kind of are the same here. So shirts
okay,
or sweaters.
so. All right. So the most expensive is $13. Oh, and it's 15. No, it's $13.
$13, right? This one, yep, there's this one, Right, because the other ones look like dresses. It's kind of hard to get. Okay, so then, Fanny. So Fanny, which is the cheapest dress? So these are dress, right? This is a dress. This is a dress. This is a dress. So which is the cheapest dress?
The cheapest is $15.
$15? This one?
Yes.
What about you, Rita? Which one is the cheapest dress? Do you see one that's cheaper than $15?
No, 11.
11. Good. Good. This one right here. 11.
11.
Perfect. Okay. So I've got a question now for you, Rita. How many items are cheaper than $10? How many? How many items in the picture are cheaper than $10? You can count. You can take your time.
It's. I think it's 4 outfits.
4? Right. 4. Right. So we've got the $8 shirt here, another $8 shirt here, the $9 pants, and the $8 sweater. Exactly. 4 items. Good. 4 items are cheaper than $10. Perfect. Good job. Okay. So then, Fanny, how many things are more expensive than $13? How many things are more expensive than $13?
Five for clothes.
5? So let's count. So we've got more expensive than 13. So we've got the pants that are $19, right? 1. We've got the dress that's 17.
Yeah.
The dress that's 15, and the skirt that's 15. So 4.
4.
Good. Good. So 4 items are more expensive than $13. Good. Okay. So Rita, which one do you think is the cheapest? So the best and the cheapest. So this is sort of up to you. So your favorite and the cheapest, because there's multiple. So which is the best and the cheapest?
The best and the cheapest. Wow, I think the white sweater it's cheaper, and then it's it's a little bit sophisticated.
Sophisticated, okay, because it says Paris on it. Good. Good. Awesome. So this is.
Can I say that? Sophisticated?
You can say sophisticated. Exactly. Good. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's $8. So it's the cheapest, right? Because the cheapest price is $8. Good. And then I asked you to pick your favorite, right? So that's your favorite. Good. Good job. Okay. So then, Fanny, which one do you think is the cutest dress? The cutest. So your favorite. Which one do you think is the cutest? The most cute, right? Which one is your favorite, Fanny?
My favorite
The cutest. Which one do you think is the most beautiful or the most cute?
The most beautiful for me is $17.
Okay, the $17 one, right? The purple one with the little flowers. This one?
Yes.
Good,
This
okay.
one.
Good job. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so a few more questions. So back to you, Rita. So
Yeah.
how many items are less than $12? How many items are less than $12? How many?
Seven.
Yeah, 7 items.
7. Good. Thank you.
7 items.
Good. 7. Right. So we've got the $10 pants, the $8 shirt, or the 3 $8 shirts, the $11 dress, $9 pants, and the other $10 pants. Good. Awesome. Good job. Okay. So now I'm gonna just stop at the close. I'm just gonna ask you guys some personal questions using superlatives. So I know Fanny and I talked last class about the youngest and the oldest person in your family. So now I'm going to ask you, Rita, so who's the youngest and the oldest person in your family? Start with the youngest.
Yeah,
Who's
well,
the youngest?
Obviously, I'm not the youngest person in my family. There is my sister. She's a little bit younger than me.
How old is she?
And well, she's 26 right now.
26.
And she's younger than me. Yeah, actually, I'm 20 and 28. So I think can I say not bigger than her, but older than her.
Older,
Yeah,
older, exactly. So you're older than your sister.
Yeah.
So is
I'm
she
older
the
than her.
youngest person in your whole family? So do you have any like cousins or like a niece or a nephew that are babies, or is she the youngest?
Yeah. Well, in my whole family, I have some youngest person or youngest person in family. Well, there is a newborn person, which is 2 months.
2 months old. Wait, so
Yeah.
that's awesome. So Fanny, how young was the youngest person in your family?
The younger is the son of one of my cousins.
Uh-huh.
He has 2 months
2 months
old.
too. Awesome.
Yeah.
So so the youngest person in both of your families is 2 months old. That's fun.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
And the oldest is my uncle, my aunt, and she has 81.
81. Cool.
81.
Cool. So she's the oldest in your family. Okay, so what about you, Rita? Who's the oldest person in your family? Do you have like a grandpa or a grandma or an aunt or uncle who's really old?
No, I have grandpa and he's 87 years old right now.
87. Wow. Oh, cool.
That's old, I know.
No, it's good. It's good. So, do you have any other brothers or sisters, Rita? Or are you the oldest of your siblings?
Well,
That's your
I'm the
sister, or do you
oldest.
have another brother or another sister?
No, I only got one sister, so I'm the oldest. She's the youngest.
Okay, good. So you're older than her, and you're also the oldest, right? Good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so then if I have, let's say, I'm going to write down some names. So I've got Maria, who is 44. I'm going to have Steve, who's 24. Oh, she's 43. And Alan, who's 74. And Jane, who's 14. Okay. So, can you both see what I wrote in the text? Maria, 43, Steve, 24, Alan, 74, and Jane, 14. You can all see that?
Yes, I see.
Yes? Okay. Okay, good. So Fanny, who is the oldest of those 4 people?
It is Alan.
Alan, the 74. Good. And then Rita, who's the youngest of those 4 people?
The youngest person is Jane,
Jane.
who she's
Exactly.
14 years old.
Perfect. Okay. So then Fanny, who is younger? Steve or Maria? Who is younger?
It's Steve.
Steve, because he's 24 and Maria's 43. Good. Perfect. Okay, and then Rita, who is older? Steve or Jane?
So then
Sorry,
Jane is
sorry.
older than Steve.
Jane is older than Steve? So Jane is 14 and Steve is 24. So who's
I'm
older?
sorry. Yeah. Well, well, you said Jane. I thought you said Ellen. Well, Jane. I'm so sorry. So between Steve and Jane, so I think Steve is older than Jane because he's
Steve is
24
older than
and Jane
Jane.
is only 14.
Exactly. Good, perfect.
Yeah.
How much older? How much older is Steve than Jane? How many years?
10 years.
10 years. Exactly. Perfect. Good job. Okay, so one more. So Fanny, how much older is Alan than Jane? How much older? How many years between?
She's 60.
60, exactly. So Alan is 60 years older than Jane.
He's 60 years old than
Older,
older than Jane.
Perfect, Good. So then just one last reminder before we end class. So whenever we're doing comparisons, right, we always use than. Older than, younger than, bigger than, exactly. And then superlatives and in EST and are the most in the world. Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any questions before we conclude class? Rita, any questions?
No.
No, I think that was perfect.
No? Okay,
Okay.
great. What about you, Fanny? Any questions?
No, it's okay.
It's okay. Okay, great. Okay, well, I wanted to say thank you so much for coming to class. I had a great time. I hope you guys learned a lot. And my next class is going to be tomorrow. And I have 2 classes tomorrow. I have one on writing emails for business and one about stories in the news using active and passive voice. So I hope to see you sometime soon in another Linguistiko class.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will.
Bye.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye, guys. See you next time.
Have a nice day.
You
Bye.
too. Have a great day.
Nice day.
Okay.